Ever felt like you're herding cats on a project? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. Whether you're trying to organize a community event or launch a new process at work, small projects can get messy, and they can get messy fast. So in this explainer, we're going to build a simple, super practical toolkit to help you deliver amazing results every single time. Let's kick things off by looking at why this is such a common headache.
Okay, first, let's just get a dose of reality. According to the Project Management Institute, a staggering 12% of all the money organizations spend is completely wasted because of poor project performance. Just think about that for a second. For every $100 spent, 12 are just gone, wasted on inefficiency and failure. And believe it or not, it gets even worse. A global survey by KPMG found that only 31% of organizations, that's less than a third, consistently deliver their projects on time and on budget. That means the huge majority, almost 70% of them, are struggling.
When you see numbers like that, you've got to ask, right? What is going on here? Is everybody just bad at the technical stuff? Do they not have the right expensive software? Well, the real answer might actually surprise you.
It turns out the real reasons projects fail are usually less about the technology and way more about the people and the planning. So let's break down these core issues.
See, it's not about being a tech genius. The real project killers are things we've all experienced. Priorities suddenly changing, that thing we call scope creep, or having objectives that are super vague, and of course, just plain weak planning from the start. But here's the good news. We have a simple toolkit that can fix every single one of these, and it all starts with building a rock-solid foundation.
All right, the first and honestly the most powerful tool in your arsenal is the project charter. I want you to think of this as your project's constitution. It's the single source of truth where everything begins.
So what is it? A charter is just a short, formal document that clearly states what you're doing, why you're doing it, and, this is crucial, what the boundaries are. It gives clarity to everyone involved, it gives you the formal authority to actually get started, and most importantly, it protects you from that dreaded enemy of all projects, scope creep.
Now, what's really cool is how clear this makes everything. Look at this example for a fire safety campaign. We know exactly what's in scope, 4 workshops, 10,000 pamphlets, and just as important, what's out of scope. No commercial buildings, no door-to-door stuff. Success isn't some vague idea, it's defined by actual numbers. And the constraints? Crystal clear. The timeline, the budget, and the team size. This one page gets everybody on the same page.
And this is where the charter becomes your best friend. When a senior officer comes by and asks you to add something new, you don't have to be the bad guy and just say no. Instead, you can say, that's a fantastic idea for the next project. For this one, our approved charter helps us stay focused on our original goals. It's professional, it's respectful, and it keeps your project from going off the rails.
Now, a huge part of that charter is defining what success actually looks like. A vague goal like improved knowledge is pretty much useless. I mean, how do you even measure that? You need a SMART goal. That means it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This way, there's absolutely no question about what you're aiming for and when you need to hit it.
Okay, so your charter is approved. Awesome. Now it's time to build a plan. And please forget all that complicated, expensive software. For small projects, simplicity is your superpower. All we need is a basic list of who is doing what and when. Seriously, your plan only needs 3 things for each item: the task itself, a single owner, and a due date. That is it. Notice how Officer Mariam is the owner of designing the pamphlet, not the marketing team. Why? Because when one person has clear responsibility, things actually get done. Now, if you want to take role clarity to the next level, you can use a Rossi matrix. I know, it sounds a little bit corporate, but this little chart is an absolute lifesaver for preventing confusion. It clearly defines who is responsible for doing the work, who is accountable for owning it, who needs to be consulted for their input, and who just needs to be kept informed.
But you gotta be careful. There are a few common traps. If there's no A for accountable, well, that task is probably just gonna float around forever. If there are multiple A's, you get conflict. It's that old saying, if 2 people are in charge, nobody's in charge. And please, don't have too many C's for consulted, or your project will just grind to a halt with endless feedback.
So you've got your charter and your plan. Now you need to track your progress. And the best way to do this is visually, with tools that the whole team can see and understand at a glance.
The simplest visual tool is a Kanban board. You've probably seen these. It's just 3 columns: to do, in progress, and done.
As the team works, they just move the tasks from left to right. It is a simple, but man, it is an incredibly satisfying way to see the project's momentum building.
Now, for projects with more complex timelines, there's the Gantt chart. This is basically a bar chart that shows you not just the tasks, but how long they'll take, and, this is the critical part, their dependencies. For example, you can see right here that you literally can't start printing the pamphlets until the design work is finished.
So which one is right for you? It's pretty simple, actually. Use a Kanban board when your work is more of a continuous flow, where priorities might shift around a lot. Use a Gantt chart when you have a fixed deadline and a clear sequence of events that depend on each other, just like our fire safety campaign.
Of course, no project goes perfectly to plan, right? You have to think about what could go wrong. A simple probability versus impact grid like this helps you prioritize. You want to focus your energy on the priority 1 risks, the ones that are both very likely to happen and would have a huge negative impact if they did, like, say, very few people showing up to our workshops.
And that brings us to our final and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle, communication. You can have the best plan in the universe, but if you don't keep people in the loop, trust will erode and your project will absolutely suffer.
Here is a brilliantly simple template for your weekly status update. It's just 5 points. Start with a color, green, yellow, or red, so your boss immediately knows the health of the project. Then a quick summary, what you got done, what's next, and any risks you're worried about. It's concise, it's informative, and it builds incredible trust.
So, let's bring it all together. If you remember nothing else, remember these 6 key steps. Always start with a charter to define your scope. Keep your plan simple. Tasks, owners, dates. Clarify roles with a RASI so there's no confusion. Proactively manage your risks before they become big problems. Communicate deliberately to build trust. And finally, always take time to learn and improve for the next project.
Look, this framework isn't just theory, it's a practical, real-world toolkit you can start using today. It's designed to replace ambiguity with clarity and chaos with control. So the final question is, what project are you going to conquer with this toolkit?